How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Markets are in turmoil right now. It's terrible, minus 25% or so. In this video, I'm going to talk you through how to stay calm throughout everything. Now, let's say you're the type that's in the financial independent, retire early type where you have 100% invested in stock market index funds. And then let's say you have $1 million in there and all of a sudden you see a 25% market tumble in the S&P. Your $1 million suddenly is at $750,000. Your $40,000 of passive income or whatever suddenly becomes $30,000. This is certainly gonna freak a lot of people out because if suddenly you're surviving on $40,000, all of a sudden you can only pull out $30,000. This is probably considered quite a bit of hardship. And the whole idea with this FIRE thing and this 4% rule is that once you're invested, you really have to hold on to it long term. And if you look at the history, if it drops down by 50%, generally it might take about 5 years to fully recover from the peak. This happened in the dot-com bust and also the '08 financial crisis. It took about that long. So personally, you can see I can sleep pretty well. I don't have bags under my eyes because the stock market's going down and then I'm like freaking out over losing a lot of money. I have to say I did lose some money so far. I'm not immune to everything because I am invested in the market a little bit. The thing I realize that makes me feel very comfortable is that if you hold enough cash, this is why it's so important to hold on to cash. When I say cash, it's not treasuries, it's not bonds, it's not gold even, it's not Bitcoin. So you want USD cash. This is what you can use in order to pay your bills. This is what you can use to buy groceries. You need this cash sitting around so that you can live off of it for the years during this downturn. If there is a recession, which it looks like it's going that way, and it's going to be a long time if it keeps on going. It seems like it's going to permanently hurt a lot of businesses. And when you hurt businesses, when you have businesses that goes bankrupt, and when you have actual individuals that goes bankrupt, you don't recover from this for quite a long time. And when this happens, it's sort of like a cascading effect. When there's a recession, people cannot buy much stuff. When people cannot buy much stuff, there's even more pullback in the industry. They lay off more people and it goes around circle and a circle and it gets worse and worse. And then, well, maybe something else happens that picks it back up again. Maybe there's an intervention from the central bank. Maybe there's some policy changes. But I do feel like the United States really don't want this to happen. They want to do everything they can to prevent a recession. Now, I say you want to hold enough cash because if you happen to lose your job, this might happen to a lot of people if there's mass layoffs. You don't want to be forced to sell your stake in the stock market. This is the worst time to sell it because it's down by a lot. Suddenly you need the money and then you have to sell it at a really, really cheap price. You don't do this for certain things, right? If you have a product and you see that it's really cheap, you might not want to sell it because you think, well, I bought it for $100. I'm not going to sell it for only 25. If you feel like you have the potential to get laid off, you certainly should have some sort of emergency fund sitting around. And certainly for people that are in this more fragile situation, you probably want more and more cash just so you can have another layer of safety. Not to stoke fear into everyone, to really calm you guys, you just have to imagine, do you think the stock market is gonna go to zero? I don't think it is. I don't think this is what can cause our stock market to go to zero right this moment. I don't think it has the potential to completely destroy the entire United States economy over here. Let's say there's a 2% mortality rate and everyone gets this, okay? 2% of the population is gonna die, and I don't wish this, okay? I really don't want this, but if it happens, it's gonna be very terrible, but most people are still gonna be alive over here. But if this situation mutates, okay, this thing, if it changes, and then we get another round of this disease type thing, this might mean we have to change the way we live, going forward. Maybe going forward, everyone has to always wear masks. Everyone has to be very, very careful in terms of who they touch, in terms of handshakes, hugs and stuff. You really want to make sure you just don't go willy-nilly just shaking everyone's hand. You just, do a salute or something. This is probably gonna be the norm going forward. Everybody just have to do this. Now, let's say it does get worse and a lot of people get it, and people are just freaked out all over the streets, and businesses just go down because there's not enough people going out to go to restaurants. People are not flying. Airlines, they scale back. Everything scales back. The longer that this draws out, the more businesses that are going to go bankrupt, the more people that are going to get laid off. And when you have those things, they don't change very fast, and therefore the longer this happens for, the longer it will take for the entire economy to recover. Maybe next week we enact something that is super duper effective. You can cross your fingers for this, right? And let's say there's a ban on all modes of transportation. You can't even drive on the street. And all of a sudden, maybe 2 weeks later, all of this dies down. The market recover. I think if we pause the economy, we don't have any sporting events, we don't have mass gatherings of 1,000 people, 500 people these days. And if you just stop this for just a week or two, it's okay. We can bounce back from this. But I think if we draw this out for an entire month, all these people that cannot even miss one paycheck, if it's for the entire month of no money coming in, people are gonna hurt, people cannot pay the bills, and then this is the point where it's gonna take much longer to recover. It might take 2-3 months to recover. So I imagine if this draws out for maybe 2 or 3 months, it might take years to recover from this. But if it's within this month that we start to do something, meaningful, I think it can just as easily recover within 2 or 3 months. It might just pop right back to where it was before. So this is another reason why, if you're in the market already, it's probably good to hold on to your dear life, because you really don't know when it's gonna pop back up. It might just keep on going down and then pop back up. And if you just sold at the bottom, you're gonna miss out on all those gains. But there's also the chance that it would just keep on going down, and then it'll take 5 or 6 years to come back up. You don't know how long this is going to be. Is that if you just hold on to just several years, you're most likely going to recover all the losses that you had before. So this is something that might soothe your worries. Even if it's down 25%, just don't look at it, right? You can just go, it's gonna come right back. When it does pop back up, it's going to do it with a vengeance. Like one day, it might go up like 8%. We see it very turbulent right now. People are looking for a reason that this is the bottom. This is the policy that the government can do that will, this will be the thing that causes the start of the recovery. And when this happens, it's just gonna go back up with a vengeance. So think of, the 8% dip, it's just one day. Another day, as long as you hold on to it, it's gonna go back right back up to 8% just as well. So far, from the peak of the S&P, it's about a 27% dip. Now, if you're the dollar cost averaging index fund investor that puts 100% of their money in, you've been invested for several years, okay? It only pulled it back for 1 year. It's not that big a deal. This year has been really crazy. It just went up and up, right? So it went up 30%. No one's complaining. It only went down 27%. If this draws out more, it might just go to 50% down. And that 50% down, it's a big deal, right? It does not happen very often. That is when I would say blood is on the street. Not that I think it won't go down further, because at the current rate of drawdown, 8%, 10% dip, it might go down really, really hard and just go fly right past minus 50%, all the way down to minus 70%. When it went down 10%, I said, it might go down to 30 to 50%. Someone called me out and said, this is just jumping the gun. But I did say it was gonna go down to 30 to 50%. So now, based on what I see of this 27% and how fast it's going down, I think minus 70% is a real possibility here. And I think some people are gonna say I'm ridiculous. It's never happened in the '01 or '08, but it's a real possibility right now due to the massive index fund investing from everybody. I think around minus 60 or 70% or so, it's when I would put down my foot and go, this is it. This is as low as it would ever go, and I'm gonna put all my money in. That's when I'm like, man, I should dig up a little bit more cash from my savings account and put it in, which I might just do, as long as I have, I guess, 5 years living expenses or so, just to just feel comfortable and warm and fuzzy, just in case like YouTube revenue goes away, because it definitely will. If there's a recession, people are gonna advertise less, you know, I'm gonna get less money from making videos. It's gonna affect everyone. Now, how do I see all of this play out for now? I think there might be a possibility for each country to try and still contain this. In other words, yes, it's gonna kind of spread a little bit more, but then if we take the measures, kind of do a lockdown. I really feel like we should do a lockdown. For like 2 or 3 weeks, we're gonna hurt for now, but at least we can halt the transmission. As soon as you do a lockdown, you're gonna still see more people get it for up to a week or two, but then at least after 2 weeks, you're not gonna see more transmission because everyone is locked down. Everyone has to stay where they are, and then you have to let everyone heal, and then you can start up the economic activity again. So in a way, in the United States, we maybe just need to ramp up production of face masks, of hand sanitizer, so that it's very, very easily accessible. Everyone can access this and they can use it. Maybe it can be government subsidized, right? They can just sell it for $1 or maybe even give it away for free. Just everyone, here, take a face mask. You can have one every single day. And I think if you do this, done. No more transmission. This whole thing just kind of goes away. Everyone has to follow these rules, then more people won't get sick. The plus side of all of this is I think if people absorb this new way of doing business, this new way of interacting socially with other people, we're gonna have a lot less flu deaths. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to give me a like on this video, comment down below, let me know what you think of my predictions. Just know that these are predictions, not advice on investing. And as always, don't forget to push that subscribe button and ring that bell icon. Thanks for watching.